What was the last time you saw your son, Jaylon?
The last time I saw him, I had just picked him up from his school dance, and he got in the car, and he and his date wanted to go to this party. And I asked, well, where is the party? And his date showed me a flyer, and I said, no, you can't go to that party. So I said, it's dangerous out there. You don't want to be there. So we went home, and he said, okay, Mom, I got to change your plans. I just want to go hang out with some of my friends. So I dropped him off at one of his friends' house. He jumped out the car and told one of his friends. I asked him, I said, where are you going? He said, oh, well, we're going to go to this party here, and we're going to go to that party. And I said, no, don't take my son to that party. And he said, okay, we're not going. And I drove off, and that was the last time I saw him.
When you received the phone call, however many hours later it was, take me through that moment.
I don't even think it was an hour later. My oldest son called and said, Mom, Jaylon's friend is trying to get in touch with you. Has he called you? And I said, no, what's wrong? He said, something's wrong with Jaylon. And at that moment, I just froze. And then I started shaking, and I called Jaylon's phone. And he didn't answer, but his friend answered. And I said, what's going on? And he said, Jaylon's been shot. And at that moment, I just started to scream. And I was confused. I couldn't find my way. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to call my family members. Nobody would answer. And I just ran and screamed, jumped in the car. And I know the area pretty well, but I couldn't find where I was going. And I was just driving in circles until I finally found where I was going. And when I got to the scene, it was a lot of policemen and ambulance, and the scene was taped off, and they wouldn't let anybody in. And all I wanted to know was, where is my baby? Where is my baby? And they told me he was in the ambulance. He was alive. He had only been shot in the shoulder. And, but he was headed to the hospital. So I jumped back in my car and drove to the hospital. And by the time I got there, they had already taken him back. And I got word from the police officer that they had to do CPR on him. And when they said CPR, I knew he wasn't gonna make it. I just felt that he wasn't gonna make it. And they worked and worked and worked and worked until they just came back and said he didn't make it. The bullet traveled to his main artery, and he didn't survive. And when they told me that, I collapsed.
The aftermath of that. What was it like for the family? How did you guys, how did you get through that? For you personally as a mother, and for you guys as a family, how do you?
I still struggle. I struggle daily. And if I can just be honest, I struggle to stay alive. It affected the community. A lot of the kids, they call, they text, they cry. We have these bands. They have bands up their arms. Any band we get, they want it. And I'm proud. I'm a proud mom. Because as a parent, you hope that what you're teaching your kids at home goes with them outside of the house. And the aftermath of it, and when I saw so many people just come together as a community to celebrate my son, it was a proud moment because I knew that what I was teaching him at home, he was actually going outside of the house and making me proud.
For you as a mother,